This is a quick grammar review for students of English as a second language.
Grammar Topic 6. Parallel structure, aka parallelism. When do you need to consider this? 1. Are you writing a list within a sentence? 2. Does a verb or modifier refer to multiple elements? English skills tip: to correctly connect multiple pieces of information to a single point in a sentence. Always try to make each piece as similar in structure as possible. There are many cases when parallelism needs to be considered. We will look at 6 common cases. Case 1. Multiple objects of a verb. Case 2. Multiple relative clauses. Case 3. Multiple adverbs. Case 4. Multiple adjectives. Case 5. Multiple verbs, done by an agent. Case 6. Multiple verbs, done to an object.
Case 1. Multiple objects of a verb. Example 1. In her playroom, Jane can play on her piano, draw on the walls, and enjoy the handmade doll's house. In this example, see how the verb can is connected implicitly to each of the objects that follow each successive verb. Can draw on the walls. Can enjoy the handmade doll's house. Because we use a parallel structure, we don't need to repeat the modal verb. Let's look at another sentence. Example 2. The Medici family had a close relationship with Michelangelo, their own alchemist, and a mathematician. In this sentence, had a close relationship with is implicitly continued through to the second and third objects, i.e., their own alchemist and a mathematician. So the full implicit meaning is: the Medici family had a close relationship with Michelangelo, had a close relationship with their own alchemist, and had a close relationship with a mathematician. So as you can see, parallel structure allows for much more sophisticated and concise sentences. Let's look at the next 5 cases.
Case 2. Multiple relative clauses. Example 3. After receiving her place at medical school, Misha decided to change her diet to one that boosted her energy levels, increased her ability to focus, and improved her sleep. The 3 relative clauses are: that boosted her energy levels, that increased her ability to focus, and that improved her sleep. You can see that it sounds a bit awkward to repeat the relative pronoun. So, we set up the parallel structure with the introduction. Misha decided to change her diet to one that, and then use the parallel structure to keep the implicit. Let's look at another example. Example 4. Why do you listen to people who constantly criticize, belittle, and manipulate you? The relative pronoun here is who, and it is implicitly carried through to belittle and manipulate. One version of the implicit sentence is: why do you listen to people who constantly criticize, who constantly belittle, and who constantly manipulate you?
Case 3. Multiple adverbs. Example 5. Unfortunately for her colleagues, the new manager communicates emotionally, irrationally, and selfishly. The start of the list of adverbs is at the verb communicates. So implicit within this example is the verb communicates, carried through to each adverbs, i.e., unfortunately for her colleagues, the new manager communicates emotionally, communicates irrationally, and communicates selfishly. Example 6. Before traversing the skyscrapers, the tightrope walker was completely, totally, and utterly focused. In this example, the past form, was focused, is modified by 3 adverbs: completely, totally, and utterly. And the purpose of this modification is to improve our understanding of how focused the tightrope walker was before performing such a crazy feat.
Just a quick reminder to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Share and like this video if you think it will benefit others. And don't forget, English skills are free skills, so share the love.
We will look more deeply into modification in future slides. So the full implicit meaning in our example here is: before traversing the skyscrapers, the tightrope walker was completely focused, totally focused, and utterly focused.
Case 4. Multiple adjectives. Example 7. After rejecting temple life, Hideyoshi boldly created a legacy, becoming one of the most influential, powerful, and wise figures in Japanese history. In this type of sentence, it is easy to see again why using a parallel structure avoids overemphasis. After rejecting temple life, Hideyoshi boldly created a legacy, becoming one of the most influential, one of the most powerful, and one of the most wise figures in Japanese history. However, if you want to really emphasize each point in a sentence such as this one, it is acceptable in the oral version to use that second version. Nevertheless, it is usually not acceptable in the written version. Let's repeat both versions to help you understand how the oral version increases the emphasis. After rejecting temple life, Hideyoshi boldly created a legacy, becoming one of the most influential, powerful, and wise figures in Japanese history. Versus. After rejecting temple life, Hideyoshi boldly created a legacy, becoming one of the most influential, one of the most powerful, and one of the most wise figures in Japanese history. In this case, it works fine. But repeating implicit elements will often sound awkward, clumsy, robotic, or even childish, so be careful. Example 8. The Edo era has been described as one of Japan's most peaceful, cultural, and stable. The use of the intensifier creates a clear message of praise for this particular period in Japanese history. One of the most peaceful, one of the most cultural, and one of the most stable eras in Japanese history. I think we can leave this sentence alone now and once again enjoy the harmony apparent in its clarity and concision. The Edo era has been described as one of Japan's most peaceful, cultural, and stable. Case 5. Multiple verbs done by an agent. Example 9. Each morning before school, Mary brushes her teeth, eats her breakfast, and helps her mother feed the chickens. Can you see where the list begins in this sentence? There are 3 verbs that are done by Mary: brushes, eats, and helps. It would be unsophisticated to repeat the agent before each verb, and doing so would make the oral version sound a bit strange and maybe make Mary feel a little bit nervous. Each morning before school, Mary brushes her teeth, Mary eats her breakfast, and Mary helps her mother feed the chickens. If Mary is sitting there and listening to this version, she may worry that the police are on their way. Example 10. After fetching, carrying, singing, and cleaning, altar boys may finally rest. Altar boys are servants of the church and clearly have a lot on their plates, so to speak. We start this sentence with an adverb, i.e. after, and that adverb is implicitly carried through to each verb, fetching, carrying, singing, and cleaning, to create the meaning. After fetching, after carrying, after singing, and after cleaning, altar boys may finally rest. I think you get the point. Concision wins the day again. Case 6. Multiple verbs done to an object. Example 11. By the time the cadet reached base camp, he had been chased by a wild boar, cut by thick thorn bushes, bitten by invisible mosquitoes, and stung by multiple bees. The object of all these verb phrases is the brave cadet. The reference pronoun, he, begins the list, and the connected verb form, had been, is passive, so we know that he is indeed the victim of the list of unfortunate events. As the sentence is quite complex and long, we can check that the structure is grammatically parallel and that the meaning is clear by carrying through the pronoun and connected verb form to each subsequent clause. By the time the cadet reached base camp, he had been chased by a wild boar, he had been cut by thick thorn bushes, he had been bitten by invisible mosquitoes, and he had been stung by multiple bees. That all looks grammatically fine. Good luck in your recovery, sir. Example 12. The new baby was cuddled, kissed, and sung to by her big sister. The phrase, by her big sister, indicates a passive form, so even though we know the agent, i.e. the sister, the priority of this sentence is the new baby, because we place her at the beginning of the sentence. The actions performed by the agent are all directed towards the object. Cuddled, kissed, and sung to. And because we need the passive form, the auxiliary verb, was, is placed at the beginning of the list of actions. So again, we can check that the structure and meaning are okay by carrying through the auxiliary verb. The new baby was cuddled, was kissed, and was sung to by her big sister. That's all fine and dandy. Now, let the baby sleep for goodness sake.